right, we're live. Hey, thanks for joining me today. It is the 14th. 14th of May. Crazy. Welcome to today's Q&A. We are talking a little bit about the blitz that's happening right now. Already, how crazy beans is that? It's May 14th, 15th, and 16th is when that blitz is happening. So it's on, it's rolling. How many of you guys have been picked up? Not picked up. How many of you guys have been pulled in for an inspection? Yes? World Clips, how are ya? Thanks for joining me. I also see, I thought I saw Riley on here. There you go. Hey, Riley. Nick, how are ya? Nick's on here as well. Good. Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the blitz that's happening. I planned home time during the blitz. Smart man. No. I know a lot of you guys are like, let's not interrupt my day for the blitz. It cuts, definitely cuts into your time. There we go. It cuts into your time. But you got to remember, there's some positives. You can definitely catch some things that you might not have seen otherwise. Hopefully no violations, but it just keeps us on our game, I think. Who's Your Buddha says, yes, inspected at 6:30 a.m. this morning. Ooh, right out of the gate. You were like their first one, huh? They're like, oh, see it. Let's go get him. No, I'm just kidding. Crazy. 6:30, yeah, way to start out the day. It's better than I guess it depends on what part of that day was, right? Like, was that the beginning of your day or was that more so later on? Because everybody's day starts a little different. But if you were trying to get to a 7 a.m. delivery, that might be a little pain in your rear. Yeah, a lot of people, they scheduled the home time around the blitz, that sounds like. I was talking to a couple of guys, it was probably a couple weeks ago, and they were saying the same thing. They're like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't need that extra downtime. As long as you're doing the proper pre-trips, and the post-trips, and you're prepared for them either way. I mean, one thing is having the hassle of, cutting into your day with the inspections. Okay, so I get that. I get how that can be frustrating. But in the same sense, it's, it's a teaching mechanism. It's all there. Who's Your Buddha says, Bart. No, not barked. Oh, okay. Parked at the wait station on I-10 in Florida. They knocked on my door after I did my pre-trip, your pre-trip. I passed. Woohoo! Passed. Awesome. I'd love to hear it. All right. Well, for a lot of you guys, we have a $50 bonus for clean inspections. Last week we paid $450 out in clean inspections. We will see how big of a bonus was paid out for all of the combined inspections coming up next week. So to be continued or to be informed, I guess. The week before, I think it was $250. I can't remember. Was it? It was lower. And then we had $500 and $500 the week before. Dean says, that's why you try to get past the scales before you park and be as close as you can so you're not late. There you go. James Drive Semi says, hello. Hey, how are ya? Good to see ya. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, the inspections are in full swing. You guys are seeing them. But again, if you are part of the Decker family and you do get pulled into an inspection, you have a clean inspection. That's the key. It must be clean. And in order to be clean, you want to make sure that you've done your due diligence and done your pre-trip and your post-trip. And I always say post-trip, even though obviously you got to do your pre-trip ahead of time. But post-trip, because that's, if you skip your post-trip, that could really screw up the beginning of your next day. Because it'll cut into your hours. I mean, you've already started, and all of a sudden, oh look, I've got a tire that needs repair, or it could be 100 different things, but you've got a crack in, or the fuel filter's screwed up, or something like that. I mean, you don't want to start your day that way. Yeah. Not that it's better to end your day that way, but at least if you end it, you can let the maintenance department take care of it so that you're hands off at that point. James says, I love my automatic. Awesome. Let's talk equipment, actually, now that you bring up equipment. We are mostly the 579 Peterbilts. We are automatics for the most part. We have a few that are the standard or manual, and most of those are our 389 Peterbilts. Those are usually assigned to our veteran drivers who've been here over 15 years. They basically get to spec the truck. So that's why you see those 389s. Not likely to be getting a 389 when you come aboard. I know the pictures are beautiful. We do get those pictures sent in to us often. We love them. They're sharp. But the majority of the trucks that you see or that you will actually see out on the road are the 579 Peterbilts. And that's probably what you'd start with when you come aboard. Now, that said, you might have a Volvo. You might have a Freightliner. Over 95% of our trucks are the Peterbilts, the 579s. But we have Volvos and Freightliners. They are all equipped with double bunks. They all have the Epic View, well, I was going to say satellite TV, but we're kind of juggling that. We've got, if you don't have the Epic View satellite TV, then you're transitioning to the Epic View Plus, which means that you are upgraded to the streaming service instead of the satellite service. So you won't have that dome on the back. But that's where we're, that's what we're in the process of doing right now. So either way, and then we have with the streaming, we also have Wi-Fi, it is based off of the Verizon tower. So, but it is supposed to be a lot more powerful than what we had through the TransFlow app, the TransFlow GeoTab system that we had. So not the TransFlow app, but the TransFlow, the tablet, the Geo tablet. We had, let's see, we have also in the trucks, we have CB units, we have APUs, refrigerators, microwaves. We do have the Lytx system, which is both inward and outward facing event recorders. Now the inward ones, those shut off at just as soon as you turn the truck off. I think it's about maybe 15 seconds, if not right away. And then the outward ones, those will turn off in about 4 hours after you turn the truck off. But those are on critical events is when they kick on. We do not have a live feed on that. I know that's an option. We didn't opt in for it, so we don't have that. There's a few things that we didn't opt in, but that's usually the question I get asked most. Equipment-wise, what else can I tell you? We have some for Volvos. They're going to be 860s or 780s, and then we have a few 740s as well for the flatbed division. So James says, what's starting pay per mile? It depends. Don't you love that answer? Just kidding. It does depend. We have, no, Dean, it is not cheaper. The Epic View Plus, nope. Whenever they put a plus on there, never cheaper, but no, Decker takes care of that. That's covered. So James, when the pay per mile, it's based off of a few things. One, it's based off of the division that you're looking to get into. So if you're looking for refrigerated versus flatbed, flatbed pays more per mile and than refrigerated, but both of them also have an experience factor in there for how much it pays. So let's actually so he's asking flatbed. So let's be flatbed specific. That's what I'm trying to say. If you starting pay for someone who's brand new, and if you live in the Midwest, because in our over-the-road flatbed division, we do require that you have at least 6 months of flatbed experience. So if you don't have 6 months of flatbed experience, you wouldn't qualify. And in that case, you would start at 56 cents a mile with 6 months. 56 cents a mile, you get a raise at 90 days. You'll also get a raise annually. The cap is at 70 cents a mile. Now, say you have a year or two, you're at 60 cents a mile. So you can see that it bumps up right away for someone who has 6 months versus a year. If you have 5 years of experience in the flatbed division, you're looking at 63, 64 cents a mile. If you're over 10 years experience, you're looking at 67, 68 cents a mile. 15 years of experience, you're looking at 70 cents a mile. Now that's the cap right now, 70 cents a mile in the flatbed division. 10 cents per mile is per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. And that is the base, you guys, because you can still get bonuses on top of that. You're looking at an extra 5 cents a mile possible in between our scorecard and our safety bonus. Now the scorecard bonus is based off of 7 factors, and that alone is an extra 4 cents a mile. And the 7 factors are miles, idle time, fuel compliance, CSA points, if you had any CSA points that month. Same with preventable accidents, on-time deliveries, and on-time deliveries and claims. That's the number 7. So that's the criteria for the scorecard. So anywhere from 1 to 4 cents more per mile is the bonus payout for the scorecard. And for the safety bonus, that's an extra penny per mile on all the miles that you completed for that previous month as well. So all the miles that were completed for the month of April, from the 1st to the end of April, once you start, if it was delivered in May, it wouldn't fall under miles for April. Even if you started on, say, the 28th of April, but you didn't deliver until the 2nd of May. Okay, so I know that's drastic, but if that was the case, it would fall under May miles, not April. Okay, so it goes off of the delivered date, not the pickup date. Same on the front end as the back end though. So that is the scorecard. The safety bonus is an extra penny per mile, and that's based off of the Lytx system, the Lytx point system. Anything with the points for the Lytx, and that's going to be critical events, that'll kick on the camera. That'll also be the critical events that will trigger any points. So the points are 0.49 and below is going to get you the bonus, where 0.5 and above would disqualify you. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Let me double check. I haven't seen that they are out. I think I have my phone on me. Let me check to see if I can log in and see. Let me see. I haven't seen them out. But one thing that you guys want to check is when you have, I'm trying to pull up my app here. One thing that you want to check is when you have your app on your phone, or if you're using your tablet, that you go in and you look on the dashboard for your scorecard. And then when you log into that, and you'll be logged into your dashboard. When you go into the scorecard, it will tell you your points. And everything's weighted a little bit different. You have the number of points, miles are weighted 150 points. Everything's weighted a little bit different. 200 for preventable accident, 200 for, Katie says they are not out yet. Or not available yet. Okay, thanks, Katie. But they're all weighted a little bit different for the criteria. And so that it'll be point systemed. It will be out there for you specifically on your dashboard. If you have questions, you can look at it. And then once you look at your scorecard, if you have any questions on it, or concerned that maybe there's a discrepancy from what you thought you were expecting, that's when you reach out to your driver manager. Make sure that you guys are on the same page. Now, even if there wasn't a discrepancy, it's still great to walk through with your driver manager, walk through your scorecard, because you should have a good understanding of where you're at and where you want to be. Just like anything else, if you don't know what it's going to take to get to the top, you need to find that out, because that's how you get there, right? You need to practice, but you need to know what to practice to make that improvement. So everybody's going to be a little bit different with your habits, with your techniques. And if you're coming out of, here's a good example. If you're not shutting off the truck all the time, if you're letting it idle, that's going to be something that you guys can talk about and discuss. If you're not managing your time well and you need to get to the delivery a little early. Maybe you need to start your day strong instead of relying on the end of the day to get all the miles in. Maybe you just need to manage your clock a little bit different. Dean says 200 for idle time. Okay. So yeah, they're all scored a little bit different. We've got 50 points, I think, for fuel. That's not right. Is idle time 50? Anyways, yeah, different points for each of the criteria. Excellent. Okay. So the scorecard will be coming out probably next week. We'll be seeing those numbers, review them with your driver manager. Or if you're brand new to Decker and you have an ART or an ambassador, then reach out to them so that they can walk through the whole scorecard system and how you can maximize your bonus. An ambassador here at Decker is somebody who's basically your extra support for at least the first couple of months. So when you transition from another company, or maybe you're brand new to the trucking industry altogether, but when you transition into the Decker family, you'll have a good understanding of where to go, who to go to, how to communicate, whether it's getting in your paperwork for the benefits program, or it's following up on OS&D, or maybe there's safety communication, just so that you know how to handle each of those situations. We go through them in orientation. You don't go through 100% of what's going to happen to you, because that would be pretty lengthy. But you do have individuals who've been here long enough that they can find the right person to answer the question if they don't know the answer. Odds are they know the answer, but it's a good support system to have. 50 for fuel. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was thinking that's the one, because it goes up in percentages. So fuel compliance. Now, if you have an opt-to-idle truck, definitely speak to your driver manager and go through, because you're going through the scorecard with them, but double check with your driver manager on the opt-to-idle and the fuel compliance there. Okay, so that's if you have a Freightliner with opt-to-idle. Cool? All right, that's just a good to know. But anyways, that scorecard, the bonuses, those all come out around the third pay period of each month. Most of our bonuses do. However, when it comes to the bonus for the clean inspections, those come out weekly. So every time you get one, it'll go on to your payroll. Payroll, by the way, goes from Tuesday. Well, it has to be in by Tuesday night in order to get paid Friday. So we had many requests asking for a shorter pay week. So, getting in what they were running for the weekend in order to get paid for that Friday. We were able to make those adjustments so that you don't have as long of a wait. So you're not getting everything in Sunday and then maybe you weren't able to finish that load and then not get paid until the following Friday. So now it's cut off as on Tuesday. You'll get an email on Thursday, and Friday morning you'll get paid direct deposit. So yeah, that has helped a lot of individuals. They've appreciated that. So that said, that is and then also on the payroll, we have minimum pay. So you guys might not know what minimum pay is, but the minimum pay is for our drivers who, in most of our divisions, our regional, our over-the-road divisions, you have 6 criteria for the minimum pay. And what that means is you won't make below this, like, safety net. That's what I'm using. This line, this amount. In most cases, it's $1,000. So you have that $1,000 minimum that you won't make less than that. Of course, we're quoting you gross because there's way too many factors to say that you'll net that. I mean, we don't know how many people will be on your insurance or what you're putting into the 401k, which, by the way, we match 50%. We don't know how many you claim. I mean, there's way too many factors to quote you a net amount, But as a gross amount, it's $1,000 minimum. But your rate of pay per mile and the miles you run, if they exceed that amount, whether it be the $1,000 in that division or $1,450 in one of our flatbed divisions, you're going to get the better of the two. So just because we have that minimum doesn't mean that's only what you can make. You can definitely make more than that with your mileage pay and your the miles that you run. So if you are running, if you're running 2,000 miles and for a division, and you're at one of our top pays, let's say, what do I want to say? Say 65 cents a mile, you're running 2,000 miles, you're looking at $1,300 versus someone who's at 70 cents a mile running 2,000 miles, you're at $1,400. Well, you're going to get the better of the two for the $1,400 or the $1,000 minimum, right? For someone with that amount of experience. Okay. The qualifications for the minimum pay are be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. For refrigerated, Monday through Sunday will work. For flatbed, it's really Monday through Friday because flatbed doesn't do a whole lot on a Saturday or Sunday. You might be headed home Saturday morning because usually with flatbed, you're coming out of the house Sunday night or Monday morning for a Monday morning delivery or pickup, and then headed back out, and then headed in or home either Friday night or Saturday morning. So you've got a little bit of time over the weekend. Whereas refrigerated, you could be coming home on a Tuesday or Wednesday, which is very common because then you can kind of straddle that pay period and maximize your home time at the same time. Because our refrigerated is often out 2 to 3 weeks at a time and then home for 3-4 days. So if you're going to be out that long, to maximize, be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week, you're going to want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday home, or Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday home, and then out on the week. So, if you're coming home every couple weeks. Yeah. So that's how that works. The flatbed, Who's Your Buddha says, what about flatbed at 45013? Let's see. I do have a flatbed, the minimum pay of $1,450 in your area. I also have the $1,000 minimum. So the $1,450 in the Hamilton area is really going to be running a lot of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, southern Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, southern Michigan, parts of Ohio, St. Louis, or the St. Louis, Missouri area, some into Kentucky. That's probably beyond the hiring area, but that's a lot of the running area that you guys will be running. It can be up and down the Midwest, but the majority of it is going to be closer to Chicago, within about 500 miles of Chicago, possibly. That's where the majority of the runs are. Not all of them, but it's real heavy that way. But yes, we do have that. It's $1,450 weeks, same requirements. Make sure you're available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads, no preventable accidents for the week, no CSA violations for the week, and get your paperwork in on time. And that, again, is a Tuesday night cutoff. And you'll be able to get your paperwork in through the Geo tab. Just take a picture or scan it or whatever you want to call it and upload it. Make sure that you are uploading every image, every picture or paper for the bills. There you go. And at least one of them has a signature. They don't all have to have a signature. You have to upload them all, but you do need at least one signature for that. Yeah. All right. Now, as for, I kind of hit on some of the benefits besides the minimum pay, but as for some of those benefits, they start at 60 days. So you need to get your paperwork in. Once you hit the 21-day mark, get a hold of the insurance company, let them know what programs you want. Because we have medical, dental, vision, prescription, multiple prescription plans, by the way, because some are $0 copay for generic, and then some are the ones that you can order online and get $0 copay for brand names or specialty. So those are really nice to, if you have a combination, so you can really maximize your savings there. We have a 50% match on the 401k. We have company paid life insurance, and of course you can bump that up. We pay $10,000 on you, $5,000 on dependents, but if you are looking for, 100 or 125, you can do that. Hi Joe, how are you? Good to have you, man. So yeah, that's a little bit of the benefits. Let's see, we have short-term, long-term disability. That's through AFLAC. We have some of the critical illness and insurance, accidental death and disability. Did I already say that one? There's quite a few. So you'll have to look through the packet to decide what you feel you need versus, you got to have a good balance. You don't want to have so much insurance that you don't have the funds you need for your day-to-day, but at the same time, you still want to have good coverage, and you have the flexibility to do that with our programs. We also have the EAP program, which we really like to make sure it's shared, especially during the month of May. Month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And for a lot of you, you might not know that, but mental health awareness has been, mental health has been in the past something that wasn't always talked about. And with Make It Okay Iowa, we've partnered with them, and their message is it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to discuss. It's okay because we've got to be able to get through it. And the best way to get through it is with proper support. And that's where our EAP program has quite a bit of resources and help to help you deal with it. Or figure it out, or kind of try and understand it, because there's always questions about it. With the EAP program, one of the things that you have access to are 3 counseling sessions, and those 3 counseling sessions, EAP program, by the way, it's free to all of our employees and their families. So those 3 free counseling sessions will get to know you, kind of help you along the way. Now, these are licensed counselors. They will help if they feel that you need help beyond those 3. They will help find the right counselors for you, whether it be in person, because we've got the teledoc opportunity through Doctor on Demand. We've got the what else? Of course, you've got several different resources through our Blue Cross Blue Shield, but with the teleservice, that helps quite a bit. Joe says, I will be in Fort Dodge this weekend. Awesome. Let me see. Where are you at in Ohio? He says 45833. So in your area, we've got refrigerated and flatbed. Oh, Star, I'm sorry. I've missed your comments. Give me 1 second here. So Joe, yes, we have refrigerated, we have flatbed, we have over the road, we have regional in your area. So the $14.50 for the Midwest Flatbed Home Weekly is definitely an option for you. Otherwise, our minimum pays are $1,000, whether they be the refrigerated OTR or the more regional. The OTR is coast to coast, and it's a lot of the West, Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Northern Oregon, Montana, Northern Idaho, Utah, of course, running up into up I-5 from California. Some into Colorado, of course, and Wyoming, Nevada, Arizona. Where am I missing? Those are all lanes that we run in the over-the-road refrigerated. As far as our more regional refrigerated, we stay for the most part east of Denver. A lot of up and down the Midwest and towards the east, like the Carolinas to, Georgia, Carolinas, Texas, all good areas for us. We don't do a whole lot of the Northeast. So if you're looking to run the Northeast, we're not a good fit. We very rarely go up there, if at all. We do have an ice cream load that's in the southwest part of New York. That's about it that I can think of off the top of my head, at least. So, yeah. But yeah, Joe, we've got flatbed and refrigerated. As far as the Midwest flatbed, a lot of that is just within the upper Midwest. That's where you're sticking for the most part. And then for the over-the-road flatbed, it runs mostly east of Denver. So again, That one doesn't go out west, but we do have over the road as well, where you'd be out home every other weekend. A star says, how much experience is needed before applying? That's a great question, but it does depend on the division. So if you are looking for our over-the-road flatbed division, we require 6 months of flatbed specific experience. As far as some of our other divisions, it's 6 months is the norm. It doesn't have to be flatbed specific in the other divisions, but 6 months is the norm. Now, if you are a recent graduate of an approved school, we can train you in our refrigerated and our Midwest flatbed, but not our over-the-road flatbed. That one, hard 6-month requirement, or 1 year of tractor trailer experience, and then we can train you in flatbed. So that's the other option there. Asim Zahin says, Pakistan, I do trucking. Does your company, we do not sponsor visas. We actually require that you have had a U.S. driver's license for a minimum of 3 years. You don't have to have a CDL for 3 years, but just a U.S. driver's license for 3 years. And like I said, for the minimum experience, you have to have at least 6 months of over-the-road flatbed experience for the over-the-road flatbed division. But if you were going into the refrigerated division and you had a U.S. driver's license for at least 3 years, then we could train at that point. So those would be the requirements. Yeah, and when we're talking hiring areas, you must live within our hiring area for us to be able to move forward. DOT requires that your state of residency or your license matches your state of residency. You only have like 30 days, or is it 30 days, to get that switch date over if you're making a move. So again, not something else to keep in mind. So if you're moving from, Wyoming to Iowa, you need to get that switched within 30 days of hire to be compliant. So speaking of getting hired on and what the process is, let's talk about that. We have a 3-day orientation, give or take. I'm gonna say that's a flexible 3 days because sometimes it rolls longer. If you're going into the flatbed division, it's gonna be a little bit longer because you're gonna have securement and TARP training. Even if you have flatbed experience, we still want you to go through that securement and TARP training to make sure that you have a good understanding of our processes and making sure, peace of mind that we know you know what you're doing. If you don't, then we will have you go through our program, our securement program, so that we are all on the same page and that you are doing the tarping and securement the way that Decker feels meets safety guidelines. Understood? Okay. Understood? All right, drill sergeant here. Anyways, that's just something really important because obviously it's a huge safety issue. We don't want to just be lax about it. So that's going to bring your tarping and securement training. That's going to probably extend your orientation a little bit. Now, if you're a student, you have at least a week of orientation, 1 week of orientation, and then 2 to 3 weeks with a trainer. And yes, we pay you for being with a trainer. It's $700 a week, or $100 a day is what it actually is. $100 a day while you're with a trainer. So roughly $700 for the week. And then when you're in orientation, we pay you $500 for completing orientation. Orientation for an experienced driver is roughly 3 days, especially if you're refrigerated. But like I said, some of that can get a little bit longer depending on what kind of questions we have for the week. If there's a class that there are a lot of questions or a lot of walkthroughs to make sure that everybody understands the TransFlow system or the GeoTab unit. And then of course, our maintenance department walks through the trucks with you. They'll go through everything and make sure that your questions are answered and that you know how to run all of the many, many amenities that we have. And we do. We have refrigerators and APUs and inverters and microwaves. APUs usually tend to be the main question on how do you work this? How do I troubleshoot this? That kind of thing. And then we have the lytic system. Like I said, there's nothing really that you need to work. It'll kick on during critical events. If you want to, at night, it's off during the night. It's off when your truck is off, I should say. If your truck is off, it is off. And if you have an APU unit, then your truck, you don't have to worry about that lytic system being on. That said, you can put a hat over it if you want when you're off duty. If you see a little, is it green or blue? I'm trying to remember. Between 10 p.m. and 2 p.m., the lytic system does an update. And I think it's a green light that comes on. It is not recording. It's not doing that at all. It's updating during that time. So if you see that and you get paranoid, you put a hat on it. But it's that's all it's doing, is updating. Asim says, let's say I move to the U.S. and get training in the U.S. truck. So can I come to your company? You still have to have a U.S. driver's license for at least 3 years first. I'd love to work for your company, and I love driving, basically long drive. Awesome. Yeah, you'd still have to have a U.S. driver's license for 3 years. And then, of course, once you've obtained your Class A CDL, then that's an option. Your driving record will be reviewed. Your work history would be reviewed. Because we look at, work history is important to us because we're looking for longevity. We're looking for someone who's coming on to stay on. We are a company known for stability and longevity. We're looking for the same from our professional drivers as well. Maybe not 95 years, because that's how long, well, let's see, what year is it? I gotta do math. 94 years? 94. Yeah, we've been in business for a while. So you might not have that type of longevity, but good work history. And then, of course, your driving history, driving record needs to be impeccable. No major moving violations, no DOT recordable accidents, nothing like that in the last 3 years. We can work with minor incidents, like a turning incident or a backing incident. We can work with 5-over tickets, or just real, I don't want to say minor, because I don't want to dismiss any tickets or violations that you have, but at the same time, a major moving violation will flat out disqualify you for 3 years. So yeah. Joe says, I will be a flatbed driver. What kind of pay per week? So Joe, with your area, you would qualify for the $14.50 if you're getting home on a weekly basis. The $14.50 is more of our regional flatbed division. And then you're looking at $14.50 a week. Now, you could be making a little bit more than that. You could be making $15.50. I don't expect in that area to make beyond the 1,500 mark. I think is average for that division. And it's because of the type of miles you guys are running. They're shorter miles. You're home weekly. They're shorter miles. You're doing a lot of tarping and securement in that division. And we have other divisions. You can stay out a little bit longer, and you don't have to be part of that $14.50. The rate of pay per mile, however, is the same whether you're OTR or you're regional. So the rate of pay per mile is the same. It's the minimum pay that is either $1,000 for the OTR or $14.50 for that specific regional. But that being said, that regional is going to do shorter runs, and you stay within the Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, like just a closer range, shorter runs. I should just leave it at that, because that's basically what it is. But yeah, that's the 1450 division. So you're looking, I think the average is right at 1,500. With the over the road division, we see 1,500 to 1,700 depending on the individual. And then you're home every other weekend for OTR. So that's pretty normal for the flatbed division. Mm-hmm. Robbie says, Robbie the trucker, live in Michigan, and I have one accident on my personal car. I still be able to apply. What can you tell me more about that accident? Were you ticketed? Was a vehicle towed? Was there any injuries or fatalities? If there was an injury, a fatality, a tow, or a ticket, that would disqualify you for 3 years because that would be considered DOT reportable. Good question. If none of those things happened, then you should be fine. One factor that I don't really have a whole lot of control over is if the insurance company deemed it DOT recordable, like if they totaled the car, then that could consider it DOT recordable. But the other thing, Robbie, it depends on if you were at fault. If you weren't at fault, then all of those things that I said are irrelevant because you weren't at fault. Asim says, well, here in Pakistan, I have been trucking since 2019. Very cool. But I've never had an accident. I love driving and I'll be really careful. I also take good care of my truck. That is another good thing. We have a policy, a campaign. I don't know what you call it. I think we go by campaign, but it's take pride in your truck. And what that is it's kind of started by or initiated by some of our professional drivers here at Decker. And that's just what it is, taking pride in your truck. So there's an image that many of our drivers want to make sure that is upheld within the industry, within the company. And it's something that you just, when someone stops or sees the truck or the individual, that they're like, wow, yeah, that's Decker. And so they brought that to us. They asked, kind of brainstormed a bit with us. And what came of it is take pride in your ride. So if you come in for an inspection, like an in-house inspection, like an A or B service, during that time we'll do the inspection, is actually what I mean. So if you come in for an A or B service, then the shop will do an inspection. And that if your truck is really clean and organized, if you get a level 4, which is like sharp, it looks great, you are on top of it, then you do get a gift, and your name gets entered into a $500 gift card or a $500 drawing for a gift card. There we go. And now if you get a level 3, you'll get a gift from the shop. And then level 1 or level 2 are like not quite there yet. Let's work on this type of thing, where the 3 and 4 levels you qualify for. That's like you did well. Yes. But yeah, anyways, that made me think of it. We do offer, so staying on the same line here, we do offer truck washes whenever you come into the terminal. If the wash bay is open, you can get your truck washed, truck and trailer. If you if the do-it-yourself wash bay is open, you can go ahead and do that as well if someone isn't available. Like if they're busy doing another one, you can do the do-it-yourself one. I know it's not called that. I don't remember what I want to call it. Asim says, soon I'm planning on moving to the S because my wife is from Long Island. Oh, wow. Very cool. That is an area we don't run, Long Island. Yeah. Too close to the coast, and that's a tough area for trucks, I tell you what. But, I mean, you might be used to driving in small spaces too, I don't know. I love my ride and take good care of it. And decorations too. We do have a couple of people, I think of Donna, decorating for, coming up on the holidays and stuff like that. You usually see decorations. And then we have at the shop too, every once in a while we'll have, come Halloween, we have the bones. It's a skeleton that you'll have to check out our social media, because during Halloween, Bones comes out and he's always getting into something. Always wash my ride and I don't myself and polish it. Awesome. Yeah, you in our Facebook group, or in the driver's Facebook group, you can see a couple of the guys that they do a very thorough job of taking care of their truck. I mean, just pride. Love it. And some of the trucks have a lot of chrome, so I mean, personally, I think it looks sharp. But back to the truck wash, one thing that I was going to say as well, or should have said, is when you're out on the road, okay, so obviously when you're at the terminal, if it's available, you can wash it every day if you want. if you're out on the road, we do offer, or we do provide, one truck wash a month. So one truck wash every 30 days. Now, the exception to that is during the winter months. Basically, is it October, November, December, January? Or no, I think it's November, December, January, February, I think, March. The 5 winter months, we do offer 2 truck washes, so every month, so one every 15 days, out on the road. But again, that's out on the road. You guys can get them washed every day at the terminal if you want, or every week or whatever, if you're there. But not everybody gets into the terminal, and that's why we offer the other option. I knew I was going somewhere with that. The other thing is, when you come in, or when you need to get a truck wash or a trailer washout, you'll call our truck and trailer washout department, and they'll get you the approval, because they'll need to approve the location and everything for you. So make those arrangements ahead of time. I sold my truck. Do you want to sell these? Oh, really? Yeah, that is hard. Wash it every day. Yeah, so not many people do. It's a lot of work. But yeah, so anyways, we've got the benefits start after 60 days. We started talking about that a little bit ago, and those will kick in. If you have questions on it, let us know so that we can make sure we can get you all of the details on the benefits. And we've added quite a bit of the benefits to it. We also have the Regenix, which is more like allowing your body to help heal itself. It reminds me, actually, tomorrow I think there is the 15th, there's a webinar. So if you're part of our Decker family already, you'll have to check out the webinar on the Regenix program. It's free to check out, and they'll give you more details, but it's worth exploring. I wonder if it's more because it allows your body to basically heal itself. Interesting. Joe says, with me being with a trainer, is that trainer, for 3 weeks, will I get paid when I am with the trainer? Yes or no? Yes. Do you want more info? Just kidding. All right, I'm being a turd. Okay, so yes, you will get paid while you're with a trainer. Orientation, you get paid $500. Okay, you'll get that. Let me see if I can do this timeline. Okay, I have my calendar back there, but okay. Let me see if I can do this timeline. Okay, so we got Monday. You start orientation on Monday. Friday, you are usually done with orientation. You've completed the whole process. You're waiting for your trainer. You might be in the truck with the trainer by Friday night. Or you might have to wait till Saturday, maybe Monday, just depending on when they can get there based off of what they're already running. Okay, so have some forgiveness in that transition time. Okay, either way, you have Monday through Friday, $500 for completing orientation. So you make that, right? Then you're with a trainer. It's $100 a day that you're with the trainer. If you have to, if you're having to wait, we do compensate you to make sure. And of course, we're taking care of hotels and meals while you're there. Snacks and stuff like that, we pretty much leave up to you, but you're the hotel's in a location that is close to Walmart and Hy-Vee, and then some stores that I like to go shop, and but not needed. And then there's a couple of restaurants too. So you have access to those. Plus, if you need to access one of our cars, we have a company car. You can sign out for an hour or two. So you have that option as well. But anyways, Monday through Friday, you're in orientation. You're then put with a trainer for 2 to 3 weeks. It's $100 a day that you're paid for orientation. So roughly $700 a week. But let's say you were with a trainer for 2.5 weeks. Okay. So let me see if I can draw this picture. You've got $500 for completing orientation. That's given to you right on Friday. So you get that right away. Okay. Then your training days, everything that is in for training is in by Tuesday night, that following Tuesday. So coming back around. So that second Tuesday. Here's the first Monday, Tuesday, second Tuesday. I know. I need a calendar. And then you will get paid that following Friday for training. You get minimum pay, you guys. You'll get the minimum pay for the week as well. So you get $500 for orientation, but you do get minimum pay. And then you'll get paid $100 a week. $100 a day for the week that you're in orientation. So roughly $700. So then you've got that week, if you're with the trainer the whole time, the next Tuesday, that's the line again, you get paid Friday, so you get, again, $700. And then when you go with a trainer, so if you were with the trainer for 2 days, say you were with a trainer for Wednesday, Thursday of a week, okay, if you were with a trainer for Wednesday, Thursday of that week, and then you are in your own truck, you're seated in your own truck, you're running your own loads, then you'll have a minimum pay of $1,000 for that following Friday. Are you following my calendar? I really need to write it out so you guys can see it. But if you're following my calendar, you'll have $500 for orientation, and then $1,000, $700, and then $1,000 for the minimum pay. Joe, if you're going into that $1,450, you're looking at $1,450 once you're done with training, okay? Instead of the $1,000 minimum. Hopefully that was clear as can be. Is there any way I could be in touch with you so once I move to the US? Yeah, yes, actually telephone number, that's the word I wanted, 877-433-2537. That is the telephone number to the recruiting department. That's us. And then drivedecker.com. Drivedecker.com is where you want to put your application in. But until you have those 3 years with a U.S. license, it won't benefit you yet until you have that. So keep that in mind. I mean, you can check back because maybe that policy changes. I don't know. As of right now, that's what it is. I knew I was talking about pay. Okay, so that's the pay, Joe. Hopefully, you're welcome, Asim. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes, you will be getting that minimum pay so you'll be getting paid while you're with a trainer, but you'll have that minimum pay right away. You're not going to have a gap of no paycheck, is what I'm saying. Now I'm going to backpedal a little bit more because it kind of brought up possibly more questions for you guys. When you're approved for orientation, before you even come to orientation, you'll have your physical and your drug tests done and your online orientation. So the physical, if yours is good for another 6 months, then we could probably use that one. You just need to send over to your recruiter the long form, and then they'll get it signed off on to get it approved. Okay, so that's step one. If you need a new physical, they're just going to schedule you a new physical for you. They'll schedule it. They'll make it as easy as possible for you. Same with your drug test. Either way, whether you have a new physical or not, you have to get your drug test done. So we'll do your hair follicle and your urinalysis before you start orientation. We usually do hair follicle, urinalysis, and physical all at once, one location. Okay. In addition to those, you also need to finish your online orientation. It comes to you through an email. You click on the link and it'll open up a password protected website where you'll have a number of modules. It'll be a video followed by some questions and another video, questions. It kind of goes back and forth until you've completed that process. That online orientation is going to give you a little bit of history about Decker. Don't worry, it's not like the history class that was super long and boring. It's quick. But then you'll also have a lot of policies, procedures, more so DOT related than company related. Because when you get to Fort Dodge, you'll do more company specific processes and policies. So, get to know it more in person. But there will be a review of some of the safety, of course, and some policies and procedures in those pre-orientation documents, modules. Okay, that needs to be done before you come to orientation. You get an extra $100 for completing the online orientation or pre-orientation or whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is, and your physical and drug test before coming to orientation in Fort Dodge. You'll get an extra $100 for that. So when I said $500 for orientation, technically it's $600 because you get that extra 100. But it needs to be done. You get the $100 for it, but you got to do it before anyway. Okay. Then we take care of your transportation. Most people are driving, most people want to be set up with a rental car. So we'll get you a rental car. If you're far enough away and a flight is what you want, we can do flight. So you've got rental or flight. And then we take care of the gas as well. What happens though is when you come into Fort Dodge for orientation, one of the things that you do, like you have all that paperwork. So you'll have paperwork during orientation. One of them is a repayment agreement. Now that repayment agreement is basically saying, hey, Decker fronted this. They paid for, or we paid for your hotel and your meals and your transportation and your physical and stuff. Those things are listed. And if you left us within the first 6 months, you could be responsible for a portion of that. You could be. That's the thing to remember, because if you left us within the first 6 months, yes, you could be. But every month we knock $100 off, and at 6 months, it doesn't even matter if there was $2,000 left on it. It's null and void. But it's a way to basically protect us and to protect you. Make sure you do your due diligence, and that that we're a good fit for you ahead of time. That's why we offer these Q&As, so that you can kind of know us before you jump in. But yeah, that's just showing you this is what we had spent to get you started, to get you rolling. This is what we covered, and we are fine with continuing to cover that as long as you continue, to do your thing here. We got you. Hang on. Well, is there any way I could be... Let's say I get the 3 years experience in other company, and then I could shift to your... Yes. There's a company I'm talking to nowadays that's 3-year contract. Holy cow. And then if it's possible, I could join. Yeah, if they do a 3-year contract, that actually would line up perfectly for us. We don't work with... We will not hire somebody who is under contract. I should say that. So we wouldn't hire you under contract. We wouldn't really speak with you about the position until you have completed your contract. I mean, we can answer questions, of course, but we wouldn't be able to offer you a pre-employment letter until you have completed your contract, because technically we don't hire anybody under contract. Cool? Cuckoo, cuckoo. All right, happy Tuesday, people. Get ready for that blitz. Just kidding. Like you said, so many of you guys have already been blessed with it. Yes, I'm sure that's what you're thinking. But it is going through Thursday, so make sure that you are doing your due diligence to keep yourself safe. If you are caught in an inspection, and pass it with flying colors, so if it's a clean DOT inspection, then make sure you get your paperwork into us if you're part of the Decker family, so that we can get you your extra $50, because we do $50 for the clean inspection. If you didn't already know that, that's normal. That's normal. Asim says, yes, the company is in Florida, but they are putting me on contract for 3 years only. Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me, because it is a big commitment on their part as well as yours. So either way, but still, it'll get you rolling. Cool? All right. Well, happy Tuesday, people. I'll be on TikTok here in a little bit. We'll jabberjaws over there if you want to join me. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. I will see you next week. Wait. Yes, I will see you next week. Memorial Day is coming up pretty quick, so we've got some celebrating and reflection coming up on Memorial Day. But I'll be here that Tuesday. What am I thinking? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you back here next Tuesday, noon Central, or you can join me on our Facebook page at 4 p.m. Central on Mondays. And like I said, every now and then we'll pop up on our TikTok. We'll answer questions. We definitely do a lot of lives there answering questions. I get a little behind because they come in pretty quick. It's nice meeting you as well. Good luck to you and heading on over to, are you guys going to be living in Long Island? Because that's going to be the tough part. If you're living in Florida, we might be able to work with it. We do hire out of the Jacksonville area. I say this, but in 3 years, our hiring area could be a whole different ballgame. So we currently hire out of the Jacksonville, Florida area for over-the-road flatbed. We do not hire out of Long Island right now, but like I said, 3 years, who knows what happens then. But yeah, feel free to reach out to us. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you would like to speak to one of the recruiters, this telephone number, where's it at? This one right here, 877-433-2537 is how you can get a hold of our recruiters. You can also apply directly online at drivedecker.com. So awesome. Okay, then I think you'll be safe. All right, have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and good luck with those inspections.